I still have no idea what's going on. Like, here we are 3 weeks before the campaign, and he's standing on stage, and it's kind of like he just zones out and just quits. And the teleprompter saying, "Hey, sir, you can, sir, take more questions, sir." And he just ignores it and just keeps playing and kind of wandering back and forth. It was very bizarre, Willie. Very bizarre.
Yeah, beyond bizarre. It was, so it started, first of all, apparently it's always just too sweltering hot at his events. He always complains about the heat. His advance team might want to look into that. And it was hot in that room in Philadelphia the other night. So a couple of people, they stand for a long time. They wait for a long time to get in there. They're very excited to see Donald Trump. And some people succumb to the heat and they fainted. And thank goodness the two people who fainted were fine. But at that point, at a normal rally, normal politician says, okay, let's stop, make sure they're okay, they're good, all right, now let's get on with what we were doing, which was a Q&A, a town hall, answering questions from the voters who had waited for hours. And instead, he said, you know what, let's not do any more questions. Let's just stop and listen to some music. So you think, all right, he's going to do a song before they get back into it, maybe some kind of a buffer between the medical incident. Instead, he stood there for 39 minutes through 9 songs, ranging from Pavarotti to Guns N' Roses, and just swayed and just danced. And it does raise the question of why. What was that? Yeah. What was going on there? Why didn't he want to answer more questions? Why was Kristi Noem there to begin with? To ask questions that were just thrown in the scrap heap so that they could listen to Ave Maria as he swayed along. Truly, truly bizarre. And it fits with a pattern, Joe, of they're all bizarre. All of his events, arguably increasingly so. He had an interview with Bloomberg News yesterday that was truly bizarre, a live event on a stage. We're going to play some of that, where he said, among many other things, the word tariff is his favorite word in the dictionary. He excused his behavior on January 6th and on and on. But again, these are not one-offs anymore. It's real. If you sit and watch, it's getting weirder by the day.
Well, and slurring so many words, even in the speech last night, I think it was insurrectionist, and just slurring through words. And I know people get exhausted. It's a long campaign. I do think that we're starting to really see signs of a 78-year-old man who obviously has been through a trial, been through an attempted assassination, going through the rigors of this campaign, and right now he's becoming more erratic by the day. And it looked to me, at least, and this is just my guess, he just shut down. Yeah. He tried to answer a question or two. He sort of made a joke before a Gold Star family came up on stage after he got shot at, and Kristi Noem had to say, "Sir, they've lost their son. They lost their child in war," and it's almost like he realized he was just sort of out of his depth, and he wanted to stop talking, because we've seen, on Saturday nights when he gets exhausted, end of weeks when he's been doing things, we see him start confusing Joe Biden for Barack Obama, World War II for World War III, making one mistake after another. And just my best guess is he just figured this was the safest thing to do, that he wasn't feeling it. And so look at that. It's just, again, just very strange. You know what else is strange, Willie, is when you have one of the great shortstops in all of baseball who has a ball popped up to him by the MVP, and you've got a chance to actually get your first out with 2 men on base, and just like a little leaguer drops the ball. That was a pretty crazy start to the Yankees game. But your New York Yankees, they have done what they need to do. And here's the pop-up.
There it is. It was hit very, very high. Rocchio is a Gold Glove level shortstop. Just kind of the ball drifted a little bit. He drifted with it. that kind of opened the scoring for the Yankees, 1-0 there. It was just a weird, sloppy game, honestly. Garrett Cole was off his game. He got away with a lot before he got chased. Errors. Pitching wasn't great on either side, honestly. And then in the 7th inning, Aaron Judge finally hit his first home run of the postseason, a bomb to center field out into Monument Park. 6-3, the Yankees win. They go up 2-0 in this series as they head back now to Cleveland for Game 3 tomorrow night. But as a Yankee fan, it was you feel like you kind of got away with one. You didn't have Garrett Cole's best. It's nice to see Judge finally get a good swing on a ball there. He's had a couple of sac flies, but no home runs. Got that last night. Sloppy game. We'll take it. Yankees take a 2-0 lead in the series.
Yeah, Cleveland's back definitely against the wall, Jonathan O'Meara. They're going to have to win at least 2 in Cleveland. I would say probably 3. They're going to probably have to sweep the Yankees out in Cleveland, unlikely, before they come back to Yankee Stadium. But right now, it's looking like it's looking like the Guardians. Almost said the Indians. Looking like the Guardians. First World Series win since 1948, getting further and further away by the minute.
Dark days, Joe. Dark, dark days. We have lived now 15 years without the New York Yankees being in the World Series, and we're on the verge of that streak ending. Yeah, to Willie's point, the Guardians right now just don't seem up for the moment. Look, they'll come home. The series is not over, but I agree. They probably have to win all 3 at home, and I just don't think they have the pitching to do that. They have made errors. The wild pitches, pass balls, dropping fly balls, booting balls in the outfield. Yeah. And now, if you're the Yankees, Aaron Judge, that's the best thing you saw there yesterday. Yeah. If he starts to get hot and can carry them, then they're in great shape. But of course, also the action, baseball action in New York shifts across town today. Game 3, Mets Dodgers. It will be a raucous City Field.
Going to be exciting. Let's bring in President of National Action Network and host of MSNBC's Politics Nation, Reverend Al Sharpton, also NBC News and MSNBC political analyst, former U.S. Senator Claire McCaskill, and U.S. national editor for the Financial Times, Ed Luce. Now, on Sunday, Willie, of course, the NBC poll came out that showed this race was tied. And, of course, the New York Times also decided to do what they do every Sunday and tell you why Kamala Harris is going to lose 49 states with their New York Times Marist poll analysis. And black men and Hispanic men are gone. It's all over. She might as well give it up. That coupled with the NBC poll that showed it to be a dead heat had psychiatrist business up about 47% on the Upper East Side and the Upper West Side in New York. A lot of psychiatrists doing extraordinarily well with Democratic voters this campaign. It's just as they did in 2008 when they were going to see 538 polling averages every 14 seconds. But since then, we've had one poll after another. We also had the ABC poll, Kamala +3. You had the CBS poll, Kamala +3. You had the TIP tracking poll, Kamala +3. And now this morning, the Marist national poll is dropped and also suggests maybe those stories about her momentum being blunted just may be overselling the case for Donald Trump.
Yeah, so that is the New York Times Siena poll that is the Full Employment Act for Upper West Side therapists. This morning, Marist National Poll of Likely Voters finds Kamala Harris ahead of Donald Trump by 5 points, 52 to 47. Again, this is a national poll. Earlier this month, Vice President Harris had been up just 2 points. This latest result does fall within the poll's margin of error, but 5 points instead of 2 a short while ago. Meanwhile, yesterday, Vice President Harris took part in a radio town hall with Charlemagne the God. He's the host of the popular show, The Breakfast Club. Harris was asked several questions about her plan for black Americans, as well as her record as a prosecutor.
But it's not just you versus Trump, it's you versus misinformation.
Yes, that's true.
Right? And one of the biggest pieces of misinformation, one of the biggest allegations against you is that you targeted and locked up thousands of black men in San Francisco for weed. Some say you did it to boost your career. Some say you did it out of pure hate for black men. Please tell us the facts. What's the facts of that situation?
It's just simply not true. And what public defenders who are around those days will tell you I was the most progressive prosecutor in California on marijuana cases and would not send people to jail for simple possession of weed. And as vice president, have been a champion for bringing marijuana down on the schedule. So instead of it being ranked up there with heroin, we bring it down. And my pledge is, as president, I will work on decriminalizing it because I know exactly how those laws have been used to disproportionately impact certain populations and specifically black men. One of the biggest challenges that I face is mis and disinformation. Mm-hmm. And it's purposeful because it is meant to convince people that they somehow should not believe that the work that I have done has occurred and has meaning. My work from the beginning of my career through today has been about, for example, we've talked about it, whether it be on HBCUs, whether it be on healthcare, black maternal mortality. I am singularly, many would say, one of the highest level leaders in our country to bring the issue of black maternal mortality to the stage of the White House to address it. The work that I've done that has been about focusing on my knowledge and my experience and my life experience of knowing the entrepreneurship that we have in the community, the ambition, the aspirations, the dreams, and then tapping into that so that not only has my work been about ensuring that we have some of the lowest black unemployment ever in our country, but that also knowing that that should be a baseline that everybody has a job. Mm-hmm. And what we should be invested in is also building wealth in the community and intergenerational wealth. And I have many, many examples of that. But again, part of the challenge that I face is that they are trying to scare people away because they know they otherwise have nothing to run on. Ask Donald Trump what his plan is for Black America. Ask him. I'll tell you what it is. Look at Project 2025. Project 2025 tells you the plan includes making police departments have stop and frisk policies. The plan includes making it more difficult for workers to receive overtime pay. The plan includes ending the ability of Medicare to negotiate drug prices. You know what we have done? He said he would. We did, which means that that's how we brought down the cost of prescription medication. His plan includes making it more difficult for working people to get by and to destroy our democracy. You know what he says he'll do? Terminate the Constitution of the United States.
That's right.
I grew up in the black church. I grew up attending 23rd Avenue Church of God in Oakland, California.
That's church.
Yes, that is church. My pastor is Amos C. Brown of Third Baptist Church in San Francisco, California.
Yes.
I have throughout my career and as vice president and recently been actively engaged in the church and church leaders, not only so we can share in fellowship, but so we can share in what we can do together that is about supporting the community, the strength of the community, the cohesion of the community. And it is my long-standing work and therefore my pledge going forward. I will always work closely with the church because I understand who our church leaders are and who the congregation is. We are talking about people who are driven by faith and the ability to see what is possible. By faith, where I was raised, and I know many of us were, understanding that our God is a loving God, that our faith propels us to act in a way that is about kindness and justice and mercy, that is about lifting one another.